We're going to have some fun for sure because we're going to try to do rolling patterns in many different ways on this nice, soft, comfortable floor right here. So this is a good way for you to get exposure to what we talked about all weekend on variety, variation, and variability. Now, you could roll on nice, comfortable padding. That's the safe option. Or you can roll on this. Or you don't have to roll at all. Or you don't have to rock or rock and roll, whatever you want. But I'm going to show you different options of rolling. And I'm going to show you some hacks, like I've been showing these quick neural hacks all weekend of how you can help your rolling pattern improve and why you have some of the biggest blocks on rolling. Now, when I say rolling and I say rocking, do you guys even know what I'm talking about? So no, I'm not talking about music, which would be cool. But how many of you do rolling patterns now? That's where you lie on the ground and you just roll one way and you roll the other. How many people do that now? Okay, cool. How about rocking? Rocking is where you kind of go front to back, like this way. Remember I showed you the rocking pattern, I don't know, sometime this weekend. It's a big giant ass blur, okay? Right? I'm having flashbacks to the weekend, to last night. But I'm going to show you cool, like fun variations of it. So this is just to spark your brain on why these are important. Mostly they're important because of 3 letters. F-U-N. They're fun, and most people don't do it. And I'm going to tell you, say, Doc, why does this rolling and why does this rocking stuff work so well? And I'm going to tell you, it's a really big secret. It's probably because you're not doing it now. So when you start something new, it lights up your brain. But it really does take you back. It takes you way, way back. I'm talking retro back to when we all used to play on the ground and roll and tumble and move, right? So it's going to light up your brain again like you were a kid. Now, some of you have been in my workshop. Some of this might be your first one. If it is, welcome. And does anybody remember, I've said it a couple times, and hopefully you were actually listening. And I said that there's 2 systems in your body that have a memory. Does anybody know what the 2 systems are that have a memory? I'll give you a hint. One starts with I and ends with immune. The immune system is 1. That's how you have something attack you, you get better, and later when it comes to attack you again, your antibodies said, get the F out, man, I'm going to kill you. And then you have your nervous system. So the power of the memory in the nervous system is really important because you might not remember rolling on the ground as a kid, finding stuff that you're not supposed to put in your mouth that you put in your mouth, or you could have done that yesterday too. I don't know, right? I'll let you catch up to that one, all right? But what happens is your brain never forgets. So when you go back and you do these rolling patterns, it reignites fundamental movement patterns in your body. It's very important for you to understand. You can't learn to walk until you learn how to move first. You can't learn to walk until you learn how to move first. Movement started on the ground by rolling and by rocking. If I bring you back to that point, your nervous system says, hell's bells, man, where you been? You haven't been back here. I'm 51, so I haven't been back there in a long-ass time. But it's been like a couple of decades since you've been back here, but I remember how it was. And I'm also going to tell you here, there's no wrong way to roll because there's no wrong way to play. Now, I can use rolling patterns as an assessment to see where your pain is, and that's what this is not. So don't get too OCD if you're rolling wrong. The only thing I'm going to tell you when you do your rolling in a certain way is this. I want you to not use momentum when you roll when you begin. when you begin rolling, do not use momentum. When you become very efficient at rolling and you get comfortable at rolling, then you can use momentum. Because the more momentum you use, when you spiral sideways or over front to back, you stimulate your vestibular system. Do you guys know what that system is? That's your inner ear. If that system is dysfunctional, you will become sick. You will get dizzy and you may projectile vomit. Okay? So let's not have that. That's later tonight. So you got to go easy. Momentum can make you sick, so go slow at first. And here's another phrase I need you to be aware of, and you might want to write down. I told the people there at my conference on Friday. Speed hides need. Speed hides need, which means you go very fast and you use momentum to things your nervous system feels uncomfortable with, because it feels uncomfortable. Now, I usually start with this slide. That's me. I do circle walking. Circle walking is a form of walking in a circle. Crack myself up. And what they call Bagua Zhang. It's a form of martial arts that works like Tai Chi and circles. And then it's really fantastic for dissociating your upper body from your lower body, working the shit out of your obliques. And you basically walk in a circle a certain way, one way, and another way as you rotate. So you can, if you type in Google just Bagua, B-A-G-U-A, Bagua, and just type in circle walking afterwards, you can learn circle walking, and I would highly recommend you try that, because that looks very simple, but it humbles you very quickly. Right? And also, just speaking from a standpoint as a teacher and somebody who tries to teach better movement, right? Or I don't even like to use better movement, I just say different movement. Don't be afraid to make a mistake, okay? Because the quicker you make a mistake, the better you're gonna get. So I screw up a lot. Like, I don't really care if I look stupid or if I look ridiculous, because I'm probably going on about half a dozen times in all of my talks by now, but that's okay. I don't care. You get kind of liberated when you get 51, right? So remember that whenever you are going to learn something or fail. And another little Mr. Miyagi Karate Kid moment. You guys know Mr. Miyagi, right? Aye, always look aye, right? Here, the depth with which you understand the basics influences how well you understand everything after that, which means basics are squat, push, pull, hip, hinge, roll. Why I'm going to show you rolling is this, what I'm going to contend. If you want to be better at anything that you love to do, pick your sport. I don't care. If you roll, you will be better at it. See how easy that is? If you roll, you will be better at it. Rolling is a fundamental basic. How do I know that? Well, because when you were down on the ground, you started rolling and nobody told you, hey, little guy, you might want to roll. It's good for your core. Mother Nature makes you roll. And Mother Nature is really smart. Mother Nature, by the way, in case you don't know it, she overrules and trumps and kicks the shit out of any research study you're going to throw at me. Mother Nature always wins. So the way I figure it is, if Mother Nature had me rolling on the ground, maybe I should go back and roll on the ground. Okay? So that's the extent of my research on this, by the way. Mother Nature told me. But you can look about this as well, because in all seriousness, I write about rolling a lot. You type in my name and rolling patterns, and it'll show up. Anybody know that guy? Paul McElroy? If you don't, write his name down and look him up. Very good friend of mine. He makes some of the most ungodly strong people on the planet. Okay? Really great programmer. And we were teaching together in London, And he put this phrase up there, and I'm like, dude, can I give you a man hug? Because I love you. He let me give him one too. He said, strength isn't built, it's granted to you by your nervous system. I want you to think about that for a moment of what that means. Strength doesn't mean you kick your ass. Strength means I make my body feel safer, and it will grant me the strength that I want. Operative word, grant. You can't force it. You got to ask it. You got to ask it. And the way you ask it is, you be nice. You don't be a jerk. If you want things in life, be nice. Be nice. So I'm going to take away the threat in your nervous system automatically. All right? Stay with me. How much core stabilization do I need to stand up and walk around? I need a lot of it. I need all of it. Because this right here is the most complicated movement pattern on the planet. This is the most complicated movement pattern on the planet. You just don't think so because you're used to doing it. So I need all of my muscles to keep me stable because I'm on two legs, I'm on one leg, I'm on two legs, I'm on one leg. I'm like, holy shit, Dr. Perry doesn't have any stability. I'm going to get tight here. Now, what happens if I go like this and then I go and lie on the ground? How much stability do I need down here? Well, I don't need any because I'm getting it from where? The ground. So, you ever hear anybody lay down and then they lay down, what's the next thing that they do? They go, oh my God, this is just awesome. Oh, this day sucked. And then they just let it go, right? Because all your muscles let go. And when you let it go, what do you decrease? Threat. A decreased threat. So I can relax. Then I can begin to start to move. One of the reasons that rolling is so difficult on the ground is because you can't use all of these big layer superficial mirror muscles that you like to do this with on the ground. That's why the biggest, most jacked up guys suck at rolling. Because they can't get it from where they need to get it from. Can't get it intrinsically, and or what happens is the brain just says, dude, you got all this wicked, awesome looking, cool muscle when it's oiled up, but I have no idea what to do with it. That's all show, no go. So the reason the ground is important is the ground will grant you the strength to move. Okay? So here comes my favorite part. It's going to make you swammo hellaciously strong. Now, I put this extra in at lunch because why not? So I want to put this up for you to talk about threat a little bit, and then I promise you we're going to get to roll. It may be kind of challenging in here because there's not a lot of space to roll unless you all roll on top of each other, but that could be fun too. Okay? Give you a prelude to the weekend. But we can roll in groups, like a group of people go and then another group go if you want to, or you don't have to roll. It's up to you. So I want to talk about threat in the nervous system. Chivo, if you go to Chivo's talk or you look at pain science, they're talking about threat into the nervous system. So already I'm telling you, by going to the ground, going back to patterns that you used to do when you felt safe and stable and mommy, I love you, and life hasn't kicked my ass yet, you go nice and safe and stable. But let's talk about threat here. These are some of the most powerful sentences I think that you're going to come across. What is threat? Pain, stiffness, poor mobility are protective outputs. So don't curse at your body when it does that to you. It's doing it to save your ass. You need to figure out why it's doing it. Don't blame it, okay? In response to that's a key word. That's a key word. Does anybody remember from Chivo's talk? What did he say pain is in the brain? Pain is anybody remember it? It starts with O and ends with pinion. Opinion. Pain is an opinion. Well, what the hell is perception? Opinion. Like I might meet you, and then to you, when I meet you, say, dude, you're like the coolest guy on the planet, man. Nice to meet you. Somebody else will come along. Don't talk to him. He's an asshole. He is who he is. That's the perception, okay? You can change your perception. When we go down to the ground, we change your perception of threat. And if I get you down on the ground and I make you feel safer, here's the key. If I make you feel safer, I give you more range of motion, right? Because your body's like, yay, I feel good. When you're feeling a threat, you're like this. I don't want to move. What the hell, right? Just so you know, I'm going to give you another little tip. If you wake up in the morning and you have stiffness in the morning, if you have stiffness in the morning, that's because you have a lymphatic system problem. Stiffness is from a lymphatic system problem. Number 2, or it better be number 2, if the nervous system thinks is the operative word. If it thinks a movement is threatening, it will simply say, dude, I am not letting you do that movement. It's taking in a signal to say, hey man, do I really have to worry about this shit right now, or can I just put it off to the side, right? Only when the threat signal becomes big enough do you act on it, okay? And it's how dangerous is this really? And here's the key word. Your brain is asking you, if you want to get stronger, guys, remember this. Your brain is asking you this, dude, how much strength can I give you right now? How much can I give you? If you make me feel safe and you're not a jerk to me all the time, maybe I'll give you a little more. Okay? And the next one, I've been trying to fix broken people for 25 years. And I can tell you, the next paragraph here is the number one answer of why they get all the stuff that they've got. Next to chronic inflammation. Here it is. Man, I love that tea. I wonder if anybody spiked my tea, because that's like really good tea. Do you guys put like special stuff in your tea here? Okay. Take a look at that. The ability, because you all have the ability to fully express potential strength, power, flexibility, endurance, and coordination is limited by the brain's perception of threat associated with the chosen movement. So if I reduce your threat, but here's the key word, I'm going to reduce the threat that you don't know is there. That's the non-conscious, subconscious threat that you don't know is there. That's the one in the back of your brain, back here in the critter brain that says, what are you, nuts? Don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to get hurt. So then it takes away all the stuff you want. So I'm not joking when I tell you that if you get down on the ground and you do rolling patterns, it'll change your life. Now, rolling patterns originally came from, babies doing their thing, but they use it in the world of physical therapy a lot because they see that it helps bring the people who've had a stroke to move better, because it connects the left side of your brain and the right side of your brain, so you can coordinate cross-body patterns. Because when you see rolling patterns in a minute, all walking is rolling standing up. So right now I'm rolling, okay? And when I strut, I'm rocking, all right? And it's actually, they're doing research now, they're seeing it make a big difference in the people who suffer from brain degenerative disorders like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. They're getting them to roll. Now, why do you think that is? Think about it, when I just told you. You go back into the brain and you light up things in the brain that are dormant. You light it up again and then it comes back to life, okay? So why is rolling so important? Well, one, we're going to work the slings of the body, okay? And then I'm going to bring anybody up here that wants to be a demo for the roll, okay? And if nobody wants to be a demo for the roll, I'll step up, I'll do it myself. Because I not only talk about this shit, I actually do it, okay? So anybody know what those things are? The red things? Well, they're supposed to be muscle, by the way, okay? But these guys represent cross-body patterns called slings. Now, this is your posterior sling. Holy hell, there's a speaker right in my ear. Okay? Right this way. That's like really hearing yourself talk to yourself. That's really freaky, right? So if this is my backside, that's my booty, right? And this is coming down on my hammy, and then that's my lat, okay? And that's some adductor in there, just pick one, right? So your lat crosses over, goes to your glute, so it works as a functional unit this way. Boom. And you have a fixed point axis right here. That's called punctum fixum or fixed point. And then it's left lat to right glute. Some of you guys have seen this before, yeah? Okay. And then you have right to left. And then there's the center point axis of rotation. And that's where you get a lot of issues with pain. And then you have the anterior part. So you have your pec, and you got your center abdominal here, and it goes across, actually includes your obliques, which are not here, down towards your inner thigh. So that's the right pec to left inner thigh, the left shoulder to the right inner thigh, okay? And the fixed point is right here. Now this punctum fixum point in Eastern medicine is called your chi point, right here. This is the fixed place of rotation. This is where yin and yang come together, right here. This is where you're supposed to generate force from. I want you to watch the timing here. So if I initiate the movement from here, it looks like this. This goes, and the arms and legs amplify. You follow? This with this. Now, very often what happens is people generate it from outside in. This is an explosion pattern. When I go from here out, I go boom, bam, I own you. When I go the other way, watch the difference in the timing. This goes, then this goes. This goes, then this goes. You see the subtle difference? But that happens over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Here comes Chivo again. Remember what Chivo said? Non-pathological, right? The non-functional pathological cause of pain is because of what? Habit. Habit. Well, that's what this is. Over and over and over and over. He goes first, he goes second. Through walking, right? Same with the leg. So what I'm going to tell you is this. If anything hurts in your arms and your legs, your ass better be on the ground rolling, is what I'm telling you. And if I didn't say it in one of my other lectures, I said it somewhere, I'm going to say it again. Arms and legs are designed to amplify force, not generate. Arms and legs amplify, not generate. When your arms and your legs hurt out of nowhere, and you're like, why the hell does my elbow hurt? I didn't fall on my elbow. I know why it hurts. Because your arm is amplifying and generating force. It's doing both, and it's pissed off at you. So what it's saying is, dude, I'm hurting in here, and you went to Dr. Perry's lecture, so you know where you got to be going. Get on the ground and roll. And if you have elbow pain and you just treat the elbow, I'm going to fly to wherever you are. I'm going to smack you one. Okay? Treat the elbow, and then roll. Okay? So, let me show you the variations of the roll. Now, the first one I'm going to show you is a video here, actually, of me rolling. And then I've got one of my patient Ray rolling. Now, Ray is way hotter than me, so I apologize that you have to watch me roll. But this is the standard kind of what they call quadrant rolling. This might be the one that you're familiar with. So this is the one where I start the rolling movement initiating from a single arm or a single leg, going over to my stomach and over to my back, right? And it's cross-body patterns. And then I've played around with these, and then I've adapted it to be a little bit more efficient for your brain to mimic the timing of a gait pattern. So this is the one you're probably familiar with, and then I'm going to show you on someone on the ground if they're up for playing with me, okay? And then I'll show you the other one. And you'll find the second one is much easier because the second one is just much more natural and seamless for your brain based on how you already walk. And then the other one is going to be a little bit more hardcore, and then we'll do the fun one that I taught on Friday. If anybody here remembers, I taught you the forward roll, kick back into a pigeon pose in yoga with a step forward and a roll again. That one is really fun. It might be kind of tough on here, but you guys are tough, right? So let's see if this works. So here I am on the ground. You would raise your head up off the ground, look to where you want to go, use the arm to come over onto your stomach, and then you go, holy hell, let me go back to where I came from, and then that's how the roll works. And then you say, well, I got another arm, so let me do the other arm. And then you do a leg, so the leg leads it over, and the leg brings you back, right? Now, the one with the arms are way harder. Anybody know why the ones with the arms are way harder? What? There you go, because you got to use your head. You got to use your neck. And most people have an issue with neck strength or neck range of motion. So if your neck doesn't work really well, you're going to start the movement where your brain says, holy hell, man, your neck is trashed. It's going to be really hard to roll. And do you think it's going to be really hard to roll if you have a mobility restriction somewhere? Like if you're stuck. Here, get your brain ready for this one. If your thoracic spine is stuck, is it going to be hard to go backwards? Yes or yes? Right? If your neck is stuck, or you're stuck in the anterior part of your rib cage, which is the biggest reason you usually can't roll. That's a cool effect, right? Biggest reason you can't roll. Here. This way. Then you have a mobility block. But why do you got a mobility block? Why did your brain give you a mobility restriction? Did it just get bored out of nowhere and say, Perry, I'm going to screw you over and lock down your hip? Why did it give you a mobility block? To prevent you from what? Moving. Why did it prevent you from moving? Because it is under threat. It's afraid. So then it doesn't want you to move. And it says to itself, well, hell, if I lock your hip down, they can't move. Problem solved. Ha ha, I win. So what I want you to do is, do you release the mobility block in the hip? This is where you insert the word yes. Yes. But what you do after that is why they are not sticking. Listen to that again. What you do after you release the block is why they are not sticking. Because after you remove the block, I remove the body's life preserver. That's its safety net. I remove it, and now the brain has no concept of protection. So then what I do is I release the hip, and then what do? That thing. Roll. Then you stand up and you hashtag beast mode badass and push a sled and do whatever you want to do. But you do not do that before you roll. Because I have to time and coordinate the mobility in your hip with the rest of your entire body. You follow? Because as soon as you release the hip and then you pop up on 2 feet and say, I'm going to go hardcore, you just threw your nervous system into absolute hell. So be nice first and roll the sucker. Then you demolish the world. Okay? Because I want you to understand why you're doing this. Yes, Dr. Perry told me to roll, but this is why I want you to roll. It's that powerful. All right? Anybody want to be my demo up here for the roll? Perfect. Love it. Welcome back. Okay. So I'm going to do it right here in the center of the floor, so you guys move to wherever you need to. Okay? So when we do this, one, nobody should have any pain when they're rolling. If they do have pain, here comes Chivo. Take them up to a threat level of 4. That's like, I can do it, ain't too bad. But if you go over and you're like, this really sucks, I don't want to do it anymore, you just hit 5, stop, do not go any further. Okay? Hands go overhead. You're going to clean the floor for me? Like this. Hands go overhead. And then I'm going to start with the lower body first because, one, she's probably going to be easier on the lower body. I want to build up her confidence level a little bit and just have her be comfortable. And you don't need your neck when you do it down here. So here's the key, okay? You raise one leg up in the air to just enough, straight up, to clear the other leg. And then all you're going to do is bring it over, and then you keep bringing it over and let the rest of the body come with you. Don't force the rest of the body, okay? Then the leg goes straight again. Then what she's going to do is, hold on, wait. I want her to, one, lift the leg up first, then bring the leg over the body, and then the body just comes along with it. Okay? What I don't want her to do is this. Bring the legs together again if you don't mind. I don't want her to just swing over really quick, at least in the beginning. Because just because you can do it fast doesn't mean you can do it slow. But if you can do it slow, that means you can do it fast if you get the technique down. That's Thomas Myers who said that. You know who Thomas Myers is? He knows a little bit about fascia. That's the word I heard on the street. Okay? So then we do the other side. Raise it up just enough to clear the other one. And then it goes over. See how she went a little faster on that one? Okay, come over. Okay. Legs together again. Raise the left one up. And then go over. And then back. Now, I can break this down and be obsessive-compulsive OCD and say this move before this move and this move that way. I'll do that if I'm trying to assess where your pain is. Don't go down that road or you'll drive yourself batshit crazy, okay? And you're going to make them freak out. So just, the only thing I want you to know is speed hides need. Don't use momentum. So if they get to a point when they get stuck, then they just do whatever they need to do to get over without speed. So what I mean by that is this. So if somebody is raising this up and they come over to here, they might get stuck. And the only way they can get over is to do this. I don't want them to do that. They may say, the only way I'm going to get over is to push this leg into the ground. That's okay. Push your leg into the ground to get over. You understand? Okay? Then when she comes back, go over to your stomach again. When she comes back, raise this up. If she comes here, she might get stuck. What I don't want her to do is back off and ricochet over. What I want her to do is either push with this leg, because she's either going to, when you get stuck here, if you felt like you get stuck, she's either going to push in with her hands or push in with her knee. One of the two. Okay? You come on over. I don't think you have to do anything. You want to do it. You do? Do you want to do anything or no? You don't feel like you get stuck, right? No. Okay. Then you just come back. All right? So some people will get stuck, and you just let them do whatever they got to do to get over, okay? Then when you do the upper body is this way. Yep. Okay. Now, you can also do, somebody at this point says, Doc, can I do it with my knee bent and then go over? What do you think I'm going to tell you? I tell you, you can do whatever the hell you want to do, as long as you have speed hides need. And I like for you to do it one way than the other way, because that brings in variation, okay? And then maybe some other time I'll let you go fast. Now, this one is more difficult, and she has a neck issue, so this might be harder for her, or it might not. She's very good at compensating, okay? So bring your head up off the ground. Flex your head up first. Then you want to look where you want to go. So where do you want to go? That way or this way? Okay? So she's going to go that way. So bring this arm up and over, and the key to this is always look where you want to go. You always have to look where you want to go. If you stop looking where you want to go, you're going to hit a block. Now, what's interesting is she's going to have to turn her head the other way to get back. Yes? The other way to get back. So lift your head up, look over your shoulder, and then follow your hand back over. Look, 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 look. And then come back. She's got like this cool like snake shit going on, doesn't she? Like that's pretty cool, man, right? Okay, leg straight, then do the other way. Head up. And then this one. So look over here. Look over here. Good. And then when you come over, control the descent, which means when you go over, okay, you go slow. I'm going to roll over my mic, and that's going to hurt something. Okay? All right? What I don't want you to do is this. Don't just plop down. Never let gravity do the work. Right? That's lazy. You control it, eccentrically control it down. So when you land, I want you to be a ninja. You know what a ninja is, right? Be really quiet. Be stealthy. Now, bring yourself back to where you came from. Extend your head first. Look over your shoulder and look at your hand. Right? Now, that's one repetition to do. That's one repetition to do. And then normally what I have them do is do that whole series about 4 times when they do it. Okay? So I'm going to show you the next one that goes with it, and then I'm going to have you get down and practice that a little bit because it's pretty straightforward. But the blocks for you are going to be here. If anybody has some weakness in the neck, that's usually going to be difficult for you to do it. If anybody has restriction in the thoracic spine where it's locked down, can you turn over on your stomach? Or they're really, really tight right here. This is where this bunges up, and then it locks here. And that's where you can't rotate around your fixed point, right? But the more that you do the rolling, the better you'll get at it. But you always do your mobility work before you do a roll. Before you do a roll, okay? So that's roll number 1. Any questions on that roll? All right. Yes. You can't have a question. You're doing the roll. Yes.
Why you don't leave, when you start from this position, why you don't leave your head behind so you have a nice mobility drill as well?
Do you hear what she asked you? Okay. So she asked, why when you do the movement, do you not lead with your arm? Why do you lead with the head first?
Because the objective is core activation.
Yeah, well, here's...
If you leave it behind, you
right.
oblige your core work more just because the head is heavy.
Because it's based on, she said, why do you move your head first? Okay, I'm not saying you can't move your head first because maybe sometimes you should do it without moving your head first, yes? For a variation. But the reason you do that first is because you go back to how babies learn to move. Babies do this first. They see stuff and they're like, oh, there's some shit over there that I probably shouldn't get into that I'm going to go get into. And then it can't do anything from here because it moves its head first. Then the body starts to move with the head. So that's the neurodevelopmental way. Eyes go first. Eyes go, ooh, looky there. Good stuff. Head goes, oh, that's really good stuff. Body goes, get there. Right? So you want to have that sequence first. Then you can fall back on saying, ooh, I'm an adult. I can do whatever I want to do now. Now I'm going to lead with my arm first, then my head goes. Okay? So that's why. All right. So the next one, after the next one, then we'll do the rolls together. So then I started to say, okay, well, I looked at gait patterning. So do you see this first roll? That's when your hand goes over, and it brought me to my stomach, and I used the same hand to go where? Back. But when you move, when this right hand comes into flexion, this one simultaneously goes into what? extension. So your brain expects this one to go forward and this one to go back. It expects this leg to go forward and this leg to go back. It's just a natural simultaneous rhythm. This one is kind of counterintuitive because you're removing the other part. So what I did was I'm like, okay, well, let's just keep going. So what I'm going to do is watch my patient Ray. She's super stiff in the legs, though, by the way, that you'll see she has a hard time relaxing. So what I have her do is roll over with her, I think it's the right arm, or right leg, and then she stops, and then she extends the left leg and goes over. So you see what she did not do. She did not use the same leg to come back over. She just did a 1-2, a 1-2. So in the beginning, when you do that move, you go flexion, stop, extension, stop. Then when you get good at it, you can keep going down the hall. Boom, 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 boom. But you got to be careful. The more you spin like this, the more you stimulate what? That thing, the vestibular system. So you can get very dizzy. So you start off slow. Then we do the same thing with the arms. So bless you. The arms go. Head comes up. Arm goes over in flexion. Stop. Boom. This comes over in extension. Stop. And then I could keep going, or I go back the other way, which we'll do. And then what you're going to find between the first one and the second one is you're going to say, this one just felt easier. Another word for easy is efficient. The more efficient you are at a movement, the less effort it takes to accomplish the movement. Now, why is that one easier and more efficient to your brain? Because it mimics gait. It mimics gait. Does that make sense? Right? And doing rolls like you do one at a time, and then you go two at a time, then you go three at a time. Because you need to work the vestibular system as well. It's usually effed up on most people, right? That means it's not good, all right? So you want to come on up, and then we'll show you this one? We'll do it? Did you got how that worked? Okay, cool. All right, so start with the leg first. Raise one up, go over to your stomach. Stop. Then raise the left leg into extension, and then go over. I mean, it just feels like, man, I like this, right? Then you can keep going. Now raise the left one up. Boom. You can do one more. Why not? You're there. Good. And now use your left leg to come back over. Yep. Yeah, that side. I have to go like this sometimes. Yeah, that one. Your left one. Right? Good. So she's got a subtle little thing where she likes to cross it over before she extends it. Okay, you're good though. You're good. Okay, do one more and then we'll do one on the arms just so you guys can see it. And then we'll get through the two here and then I'll show you the last two. Okay, so now we'll do the arm, okay? So lead and go that way with your left arm. Just don't use momentum. And then stop. And now extend your head, look over your right shoulder, and then use the other arm. It's just like seamless, right? Like this, like a flow. It's like a flow state. Then you go the other way. So obviously this might be challenging in here because you might go boom, boom into somebody. So just watch your neighbor when we do it, okay? And then come back because we want to even you out. Otherwise, you'll walk in a circle to the left all day long. Good? So when do you do rolling? You can do rolling before you train. I like to have people do a power movement, do a deadlift. Then your asses ain't texting how great your deadlift was. Get down there and F and roll. And then you can do another deadlift. Okay? Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so anybody that wants to roll, come on out here to the floor. You can roll up on the stage too, I don't care. If you don't want to roll, all you can do is just watch and critique everybody else roll. It's way more fun when you watch somebody else, right? Okay, let's just do the standard regular roll, okay? Hands overhead, legs are straight. Then just use one leg to bring yourself over to your stomach. Remember, don't go fast. Speed hides need. No cheater, pumpkin eater. Then use the same leg to come back over. Then do the other leg. Watch your neighbor. Don't want to bang heads or anything. Good. And then use the same leg to come back over. Remember, no momentum, just push into or wherever you need to. Then use the arms. When you do the arms, remember, don't forget your head and don't stop looking where you want to go. If you don't use your eyes, guys, you're never going to get there an easy way. Okay? Make sure you use your head. Good. Did you notice a difference of how when you use the upper body, it's way more difficult than the lower body? Some people, it will be the opposite. Good. Now what I want you to do is one arm flexes over, one and extends. So then you do the double. You remember the double? So one arm comes over in flexion, then the other one goes in extension. Same with the leg. Just watch where you're rolling into somebody. Then notice how much easier it feels when you do it that way. Good. You guys feel the difference there? It's just less taxing for your brain. Your brain says, dude, I've been here like 1,000 gazillion, billion, trillion, like this one, right? 1 billion, million. Austin Powers, you guys know that one? Okay. People says, you got to stop quoting movies for people when they weren't even alive yet. Now, these are really, like I said before, great to do before you train. They set the neural matrix for you to move. They're really fantastic to do during training because they consider these, I hate this damn word, but I'm using it anyway, consider them a corrective exercise mixed into your training routine because I'm constantly having you move, but I'm resetting your neural matrix all of the time, right? So you're not going to do a set and then sit and text your friend how great your set was, okay? Or you can do it at the end, because when you do it at the end, you wrap up the session. You decompress your spine, your nervous system, that you just jolt it up into sympathetic overload to tone it down. And if you are a real hashtag beast mode badass, you do all three. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. How much time I got, timekeeper? 10 minutes? You could probably tell this Dr. Perry really sucks at knowing what time of the day it is, right? That's what happens when you love what you do. Time doesn't exist. How much time I got? 10 minutes? 15? Okay. All right. So let me show you the roll up to the pigeon. Now, anybody in my class on Friday, you know what's coming your way. But I'm going to take my shoes off and do it with my socks on. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, this can be a little rough on your spine when you're doing it. No, I don't need that. Real men don't need a pad. I'm just kidding. So I'm setting the tone for all the guys in the room. Now, but seriously, I like to do it on different surfaces, right? Because remember, when you change the environment, AKA the surface you do something on, like I've said before, it becomes a different exercise. So doing it on the hard one every now and then is okay. Even if it's a little bit of discomfort, not pain, but discomfort, that's okay. Then you can do it on the softy pad. If you really want to go hardcore, you do it like on the sand or something, right? So with this one, I do a lot of work with rolling and tumbling and things like that because that's just a form of play. It's moving your body weight around. You know, Dan John, who spoke here before, does a lot of work. If you've been to his certification, he does a lot with rolling and tumbling. Why? Because the shit works, that's why. But it also rolls around your noggin, and it moves the fluid around in your brain. And trust me, it's probably planes of motion that you normally don't get in. And here's the thing, a lot of people just don't do it, and it can be a crucial part of their recovery and or training program that will skyrocket your progress. Now, Dan John will tell you that if you want to make the fastest change in your body in the shortest amount of time, you pick up heavy shit and carry it far. That's it, a loaded carry. Next to a loaded carry, I'm going to tell you that rolling and tumbling on the ground is probably number 2, because I'm taking you from one extreme to the other one. Because you are designed to pick up heavy shit and move it from point A to point B. Okay? And you're also designed to do this. So I mixed the forward roll into some pigeon pose in yoga, so you don't have to do both. You can just do one staying on the ground with a nice rock. Then you can add the coming up part. Using the stabilization with your hands, because the majority of human beings will have to do that. Then I'll show you the optional one where you can do the pigeon, which is, I'm going to be honest with you, is going to be very impressive because I'm doing it in denim. That's jean, okay? So I might crush something when I do it, but it's for the greater good, right? Here's how it works. I hate these microphones. Good Lord, right? So you can roll a couple different ways. One, you can roll with your knees like this here, and then all you're going to do is watch one. It's really difficult, okay? I'm going to do this. I'm going to roll back. I'm going to roll up. That's it, all right? Because what I'm doing is back and then forward. But I'm also getting my body used to falling, right? Because there's always tension in your body devoted to preventing a fall. So this rocking back and forth is really great for your spine. It's going to move the fluid around inside of your noggin. And you can just do that back and forth about 10 times, okay? Now, what you can do is also change it up, where you cross your feet in front of each other like this, okay? And you hold your knees. And then you can do it this way, okay? You go back as far as you want to what's comfortable, and you come forward, and you can do that one about. You change completely by doing this. I change my legs, it's a completely different rolling pattern. Yes? Why? Because my brain says, dude, this is different than that. That's what we like. Okay? If I just did this all the time, I'm going to make myself more vulnerable because it's the only thing my brain knows. Then I go like this. And how about this? The next time I do it with my shoes on, or the next time I do it with one sock on and one sock off. Right? Because that's how I roll. Did you get it? Did you get it? That's a good one. I just made that one up. Right? And then, but now watch. I'm going to come up when I roll. Right? I'm going to go this way. Okay? I'm going to come up here. Then I come to this stance, and I'm going to use my hands to help me come up. Now, if you're good at this, you don't need your hands, but you'll come up like this. Push, push to this position, and now I'm in a half-kneeling position where this hip is, I'm like coming with a hip opener, yes? Coming with a hip opener. If I do kettlebell work, or especially if I do Indian club work this way, but this leg is facing back this way. I'm dorsiflexed, toes extended, and this one is coming forward. Then what I can do is I sit back down into it. I come sit into here, hand and hand, I come back, watch. Then I come to here, then I can repeat. Boom, and I'm here. Then down, down, and up, and I can repeat. You follow? Then I can switch for grip midway. I'm going to come here, watch the legs, because you'll practice this. I'm back, my legs switch. It's called an under switch here. Then I come up, and then I come on this side, and I post up. And then I come back, I sit back down into here. Then I can do the same one again, up, this way. And even from here, I can do all sorts of stuff when I'm up here, right? Whatever I want to do. Then I can sit back and alternate. Watch. Boom, boom, here, switch, up, here. Then from this position, I drop down, and I'll show you how I come up and go into the pigeon. So I'll come here, boom, boom, down, switch, up, boom, lock, straight down into a pigeon. I can go high pigeon. I can go low pigeon. I can go twisted pigeon. I can do whatever I want to do. And then from here, I bring this one back forward. And then I come back into the roll. You got it? Anybody want to do this with me? So you can just feel the excitement, can't you? All right, if you want to do it, come on out here. All right? We'll do it together. Come on. And then we'll end this show. 10 minutes. Perfect. Because I may have time to show you the last roll. All right. So let's go down. And let's do this, okay? Cross your right leg in front of your left leg. Let's just do it together. Cross your right leg in front of your left leg. Hold at the knees, okay? And just rock back and come back forward and just come up. Rock back and come up. And now when you rock forward, you're going to come all the way up. Take your hands off. This foot is forward. Put your hand down. Put this hand down. Come up. And now you're in like a half-kneeling position. This one is forward. Try to keep this hip as open as you can. And it's okay if you change around the position of your foot. It's all right. It doesn't make you a bad person if you're out here. Just try to open the hip up because it gives you more range of motion in your hip, okay? Then from here, watch. You're going to sit back towards your heel on that side. Sit back towards your heel to load the big toe, to get elasticity in that fascia and prime the big toe. Then hand goes down on the back. Top hand goes down. Then you sit back into it. Keep the legs where they are. Back right in front of the left. Rock back again. Come up. Do the same thing. Hand down, up. And then we're going to go back. And when we're on the ground, we're going to switch. So hand down, roll back, switch your feet, roll up. And now your right knee is down, your left foot is forward, your hip is open, okay? And then when you're here for S and Gs, just twist a little bit, man. Just twist a little bit. Put your hand up over your head and then rotate. Put your hands out to the side like a helicopter and just spin. And now punch forward like 4 times, just because you can. Sit back into your heel. Hand down, hand down. Repeat the left leg in front. Come back up. Boom, right? From here. Now, what we're going to do from this position, we're going to launch you into a pigeon, which means from here, watch me. You're going to stay where you are. This leg, all it's going to do is drop straight back this way and let that foot now go into plantar flexion. So now you're into your pigeon. And get into different poses in the pigeon. Come up a little bit, go down a little bit, then take your right hand and reach through your left one, underneath, and then go here. And now this is the tricky part. You're going to have to watch your foot here. You're going to have to bring this one forward, step forward, and bring that back up. I'm a fighter, so I usually come into this stance. You don't have to. It just is like, man, that's more badass, right? Okay. And then from here, let's go back into it one more time here. But I'm going to show you a little cool thing. Watch. You can prime this up where you sit back towards your heel and you come up. Sit back towards your heel, come up. Sit back towards your heel, and we're going to use that momentum to do this. Watch. And then swing your leg back into the pigeon. Good. And then bring your leg forward. Boom. And then we're going to sit back and switch legs. Sit, sit, hand, hand. Roll back, switch legs, come forward, hand down, left knee down, up. Well, because most people will need that. They don't have the abdominal strength to bring them up without hand support. So if you have the strength to do it without the hand, then absolutely do that. What I've found through my experiences when people come to this one here, they get like, they come forward. Either one, because they don't understand how to control the momentum. Yeah, or they have a postural thing or many different things. So I want to make this in the beginning, at least, I don't like to use the word easy, but I would just say something you feel more confident with, right? So you see what she said? She said, would you stand up and then go back down into that? What do you think my answer is? Of course you can. Absolutely. Once you understand the concept, what's the concept? Rolling. Then you can create 1,000 different techniques, right? So let's come back and roll up. So you're on the left leg here. And now what I want you to do is you're going to drop down into your pigeon. So the right leg comes right behind you. Swing. And then drop down. You can go high pigeon. You can go low pigeon. You can reach in between your right arm at that point and come through. Or you can put your left hand down and reach through there. Do whatever you want. Then you're going to come back forward again. Right? Then let's try the one where you sit back into your heel. So you sit into your heel and you prime. Sit. Look at me. I'm getting primed for a swing. Because I'm going to go here. Watch. When I come up, that's when I launch back. When you come up, launch back. There you go, and sit into it. Then you come forward like that, and then you can stand up. And then, of course, you have to do this. Bing, bing, boom, right? All right? You guys got it? So that one, what I want you to do is think like that. Like, I wonder if I stood up, and then I went back down. I wonder if I did this, but instead of 2 hands, I now can use 1 hand. Or instead of 2 hands, now I can use no hands. Right? That makes sense. And when you get really good, then you can roll backwards. Or when you come up to this point, then you use that as your tuck and roll, where you roll forward underneath here. where you come forward, and then you launch that way. But I'm not doing that on this floor, okay? All right, awesome. So why don't you guys have a seat again? I'm going to wrap it up with you on what I want you to do. So when you go back to see your clients, I'm going to give you a really easy spot to rub that will help them move all together, right? I'll end with one little sweet spot, creamy filling place to rub, okay? Now, in the center of your belly here, I've talked a lot about the lymph, and there's a lot of very powerful reflex points here, especially around your belly button. Now, around your belly button is a reflex point for lymph of your body, for your psoas, to help your psoas engage better, but also for your adrenal glands. So if you've got adrenal fatigue, which is pretty much everybody on this planet, this is where you want to rub. So before you do your roll or your rock, right, do your mobility drills, do your mobility release. Then I want you to take your fingers and I want you to rub around your belly button. So don't stick your finger in there and do a swirl, because that's just creepy, right? Especially when you do that to somebody else, right? So rub around your belly button and push in there pretty hard, 1 to 2 inches around. And you may feel very tender. It may feel swollen. You may feel little nodules in there. That's lymph. That's also where your small intestines sit. So if you have backed up lymph in your intestines, yes, there are lymph in your intestines. That means they're inflamed. If you feel this, rub that. And then you also do my favorite technique of the weekend, which is where you just slap across your belly button. And this is going to open up and release your punctum fixum, your fixed point, okay? Then you'll notice you'll have better activation in your psoas. You'll have better rotation in your roll. You'll have an easier roll up and a hell of an easier time when you do it. When you go back, start introducing the rolls just with every person. Very easy. Just give them 1 or 2 to do. Build up their confidence. Watch them laugh. Watch them smile. Have a little fun. Change the environment up, right? Change the music you put on. Just roll. Any last minute questions for me? Roll backwards? Yeah, you can roll backwards, sure. You can do whatever you want. Yep. Rolling backwards obviously is a little bit harder, yeah? But you can work up to that. Any other questions? Okay, awesome. Great, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great, awesome rest of the weekend. Well done. Damn, that was fun.